Alright, this is a video on how to take exam questions that are in Word, bring them into Respondus, and then publish them to Canvas. First thing you would do is open up the template for general feedback, and so that the template doesn't get messed up, I'm going to copy. Right, so right-click, copy the first question type, and create a new document. And I'm going to hit Control V or right click and choose paste. And then I'm going to click here and make sure that I'm grabbing the source formatting. That way it keeps the solid formatting and the numbering and all of that. And then you would go through and you would update this. Put in the real title of the question, put your question in, your feedback, and then any of the answer choices. Remember that you can have as many Shift Enter after each line, period, letter, period, space, and then the answer choice. You can have as many of those as you'd like, and mark the correct one with an asterisk. There does need to be a space between the @ symbol and the feedback, and there needs to be a single space between the period and the question. And you'll work through and write all of your questions that way, and then do File, Save As, somewhere on your computer. Right, and we want to name it Exam 01 if you're going to have more than 10. Your last name, the date, so today is 9/3/15, and then click Save. And unless there's also maybe a section that you're doing, maybe it's the math questions or something like that, I would probably add that in here as well. Okay, and click Save. I'm not going to do that because we're just doing a quick video here, and I'm going to use this document to import into Respondus. So you need to, once you're all done, close the document that you've been working in, open up Respondus, and what you want to make sure you are, most likely from the previous time that you've run this process, you're going to be, your Respondus's current personality will be in Structure Canvas. For this first step, you want to switch it to Moodle. And then we're going to click Import Questions. Okay, and so we're going to use a Word Doc X. We'll browse. And I want this document. Click Open. Okay, I'm going to create, and this is your Respondus document that you're creating, so I'm going to follow the same naming pattern that I did for the file. Okay. You probably don't need the date, and then you're going to hit Preview. And what you want to see is that there are no warnings. Because if there was any warnings, you're going to want to go back through your Word document, make any changes to fix anything that it suggests. It will list the question number and everything, and then bring it back in, save it, close it, and then preview the file again and see if you get rid of any of the warnings. Then click Finish. And OK. Alright, so now we have our questions. The next best thing to do would be to go to Preview and just preview the file that you just brought in. And so what I'm looking for is, one, that the feedback that I wrote is formatted correctly, all the answer choices are in the right spot, the question looks correct, the font's the same, right? And I'm just going to quickly go through and make sure that everything looks correct. Okay, the image came in, the table came in correctly, the formatting that I chose is all there, and so on. If you find any mistakes, you can make a decision to either modify it in Respondus or go back to the original Word document and fix that and then re-import the questions. At this point, it might be easier just to hit Modify Item, come in here and do any of the editing that you need to do, and then save your changes. Okay, so I'm going to hit Cancel and Close. So once you're all done previewing those questions, this file is done. but we have one more step before we import another file. So we're going to go to Start, and I want to change the personality back to Canvas. It's going to give me a warning that's saying, hey, you're changing learning management systems. Are you sure you want to do that? And we do. Because what it's going to do is it's going to take that general feedback and put it in the right spot for Canvas. No change to the questions were needed for this conversion. We want like that. And we're going to just replace the current file so that we can keep our naming and we don't have duplicates. One Moodle, one Canvas. Replace current file. Okay? And so now it's done and it's ready for you to go ahead and repeat that same process. So we'll go to Close. Yes. Okay. And then we're going to go to Import Questions, and then you'll repeat that for each section of the exam. Once you have all of them imported, you'll go to the Exam Wizard. Okay, we're going to create a new exam. We'll give it a name. So this is Exam 1, and you do have to provide a description. Next, of course, if this is the case, because you've been using Respondus a lot, you might change that to something like that. Okay, so then it's going to ask you to select the files that you want to import. Well, here's the one. You can always sort it by date so that the one that all the ones I just recently imported are there. I'll click that and choose Select, and I would go down the list to make sure that I've grabbed all of the parts for this Exam 01 that I just imported into Canvas. And then I'll click Next. And so now you need to select the questions. And so you'll choose the exam or the source file, right? And since we want it in a certain order, then we're going to do a manual selection, and we have to check each question that we want to bring in to the exam. I'm going to add to end of list. And now those 9 questions are there. And then I would repeat by grabbing the next file, manual selection, and go through and check the boxes for that. And I would add to the end of list and keep adding those in order the way that you want it to. And once you have all of those brought in, you'll click Next. And for this last step, we can go to the Settings menu and start working on the settings, or you can go to the Preview menu to make sure that all of the questions are in order and everything came in, but you did do that check previously to this step with each individual file. So most likely we can just jump straight to go to the Publish to Canvas menu and click Finish. So we'll go into the Publish Wizard. We'll log into Canvas. Okay, and then we're going to import a created quiz. We're going to call it Exam 1. We can take the extra text off now. Okay, and if you're going to set up your settings inside Canvas, we'll leave this unchecked and click Next. Now I'll ask you what course you want to bring it into. I'm going to choose the clean course here and then hit Next. So we're going to wait through. It's going to go through the process, and we'll just wait until it says Exam Publish Finished. And depending on the size of the exam, it will take a little bit of time to export all of the questions and publish them. So we want to see Publish Completed Successfully, and then we'll click Finish. For the last step, just resize this real quick, as I like to go into the course and just make sure that it came over the way that we wanted it to. Okay, so here's Exam 1. It's unpublished. And so I can go in to go to Edit, click on Questions, Show Question Details, and there are all my questions with the general feedback. The image came through, the table, everything is there the way that I like it. Now I can go ahead and go to my settings and go through and adjust any instructions I want to add, what category it belongs in, the time limit, shuffle answers, if I want the students to see the quiz responses, the due date, and all of that. And then when it's all done, I'll click Save and Publish, and it's ready to go. for my students. And that's the entire process. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to contact online services at sanjuancollege.edu. Thanks.